annoying thing.
Okay,
Sorry.
no
Thanks.
problem. Thanks. Who's going to do North Bluff? Is that Rich or is that going to be Alex?
That's me, Mr. Chairman. Ready
Okay,
when
go
you
ahead.
are. I believe once I'm done, I believe Mr. Wong is here too to speak after I've spoken,
Oh, good.
if need be.
Carol just joined us.
All right. Hold on just a
That's eight.
second.
One,
We
two, three,
screen
4,
share.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey, Carol.
Okay, this is a follow-up to DRI 659M North Bluff, which was a roundabout. The applicant was required to provide a landscape plan, an exterior lighting plan, and a drainage plan to the LUPC for review, post-decision. And here you see the landscape plan and the planting list that the applicant has provided. I'll show you next. Page 1 of a 4-page, highly detailed drainage plan, which includes cross sections, details of different storm drains and piping arrangements. This is the 3rd page of that plan, which also includes bench placement, trench drains, more piping, and placement of piping, and the grade of that piping, and some swale information, or what appears to be swale information, and an exterior lighting plan that features some pole lanterns. And that's pretty much the long and short of it, Mr. Chairman. Highly detailed information provided by the applicant.
Okay. Well, let's take the in reverse order. Let's do the lighting plan. Fred, is the lighting plan okay?
I have a couple of questions that I would ask Tim. The first one is I was noticing that unlike on Circuit Avenue, where you're using the same fixtures, you're calling for these to be frosted. And I was wondering what the thought was behind that. Because once they get frosted, they're a whole lot less dark sky compliant because the light kind of goes everywhere.
Tim's checking something there.
Let me know if you want me to bring that back
These
up.
fixtures are okay. Yeah, I guess they were meant to be the same as those at Circuit Ave. The poles are taller, but meant to be the same. I guess
So they're not supposed to be frosted.
yeah, it's something like it being frosted. That's something that's not desired. Then yeah, that can easily be taken out. So
Okay.
yeah.
We'll assume that'll be deleted.
Yeah.
What else, Fred?
The other thing is what's not clear is the specified optics for those that are generally the spread pattern. That parameter isn't specified.
Yes, well, I have it's not part of this plan, but yeah, we did do a optics study for the new poles, and the sorry, I'm pulling up right now, but yeah, the intent for here is the poles that are sort of in the middle of this street, like not the 4 that are in the roadway, closest to the roadway. Those
Right.
are going to be circular optics.
Yep.
And then the ones that are closest to the harbor or the docks, there's 4 that are closest to the harbor docks. Those are directed towards away from the water and towards the
Great.
bench area.
That's what I would expect, but it's not specified that way on the plan, I don't believe.
Yeah, I think it's marked as yeah, some being type 3 and type 5. Type 3 is the directed one, type
Right.
5 is the circular one. I've coordinated with the particular distributor and the of these poles, which is what we've used for Circuit Ave and all, and so all that will be arranged according to what we worked out. If you need me to submit the a drawing that shows the photometric study, then that's I can easily do
I
that.
don't need the photometric studies. What I would like is a note on the drawing that says which poles get the type 3 optics and which poles get the type 5 optics. And
Yeah,
that they're not, then we're all covered. And if they put the wrong ones on the wrong poles, we know.
Yeah, I'll do that. I
Not
could
that
just
that
mark it.
ever happens.
Are there any other commissioner comments on the lighting plan?
I'd just like to comment that we're mighty lucky to have Fred who understands this stuff.
That's why I called on him.
And
Okay,
Tim,
so
one other thing, am I correct that they are on dusk to dawn cycles?
Yes, they'll be on the same well, they'll be on the same circuit as the other poles. So yeah, which I believe is timed like that.
okay, so with the caveat that you will submit a plan to be reviewed by staff to confirm these changes. You'll submit plans that show that the lighting will not be frosted and will show the spread pattern either as type 3 or type 5 for each lighting fixture. And we'll note that they'll be on timers. I'd be happy to hear a motion to approve the plan with those changes.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
okay.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving that plan with those changes, kindly raise your hands so Doug can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All
Abstain.
okay. So that was no 7 yes, 0 no, 1 abstention. Okay, next, let's put up the drainage plan. That one should be easy also, since none of us will understand it.
Yeah, if I could kind of just summarize how we kind of elaborated on the basically the rudimentary plan that was in the submittal. Basically, we worked out the rudimentary plan had, where the catch basins are and, kind of on the top level. Here we worked out how all the connections would be and all the elevations of all that. Basically, this is a construction drawing. They're telling them how to build it. And I think the key, it was noted in discussion, but here it's shown is that each system, each kind of subsystem will be connected to a storm scepter unit, which is something that's common in Massachusetts and Northeast and the island. It's something that the purpose is it kind of makes the water that comes in spin and differentiates it and helps clean it by by taking things that float, such as oils and debris, and taking that off the top and separating that off the top, and then things that sink, such as sediment and particles, and letting those sink down. And so it allows that only the more, purified water to pass through the system. And we'll also have a operation and maintenance plan with the town to be able to clean these units out. So that's the kind of the main addition of what you see here, although it was always intended in the design.
Okay. Any comments or questions by commissioners?
I just had a quick question. Tim, is this connecting to existing infiltrators in that, on that site?
There are not existing infiltrators. Yeah, I don't, from looking at the available information, that those don't exist. But what it does is it, all the catch basins and purification things will come before basically and connect into the existing outfall pipes that at the site. So.
Okay. That was the piece I was missing.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on this? Then we have to vote on whether or not to approve this plan.
I would so move.
Second,
All in favor, kindly raise your hand where I can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that one's unanimous. Okay, next, the landscape plan. And could you, Rich, expand the notes that show the Latin names and common names of the plants, the plantings there? Because I know my colleague, Ms. Sipley, might want to make sure that that meets our needs.
Yeah, if I could
Go ahead.
interject, yeah, the plant schedule and the plants here have not changed from the application. So these are the same plants that were put through the process, reviewed by Tim Boland and from Polly Hill Arboretum. Look to be drought and salt and wet tolerant, for the use here as kind of sort of rain garden type use, as well as being able to hold up in this kind of area.
Okay. Does this pass muster?
I'm in the process of trying to determine that.
Okay.
Okay, my plant specialist
Says not bad.
says not bad,
Not bad?
not bad. So in other words, there's nothing shockingly non-native or rather invasive here.
Okay. Well, I'm very grateful that you happen to have an in-house, seriously in-house expert.
Well, I feel it important to credit that because I don't want to pretend that I knew what all of these bloody things were.
That's quite all right. You knew who to ask. Anyone else have any concerns?
No, I will go with Linda and her trusted advisor and make a motion that we accept this.
I would second that.
Thank you. Second,
Okay, all in favor, kindly raise your hand. We hope you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my goodness, 8 in a row. Okay, 2 unanimous. The only other thing you have to do, Tim, is provide a surveyed dimensional as-built site plan prior to receipt of your certificate of completion. You don't have to come to us for that. You just get it to staff. And once you make those changes in the lighting plan and staff says they're fine, you're ready to go. Okey doke.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a very nice plan. I'm grateful you made these changes.
in a difficult location, I might add.
Oh, my goodness. Very challenging, very challenging. Next, you can work on 5 corners for us, Tim. I need that too. Okay.
That'll take another few years. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. That's it for the North Bluff. We now have sea bags, our concurrence review. We have to make a recommendation to the full commission as to whether or not to concur in this referral, and which means we have to make a recommendation as to whether it requires a public hearing. So Rich, tell us about it, please.
Sure thing. First off, Mr. Chairman, I think Mr. Gorey might be having some technical problems. He tells me he's not hearing the Zoom. He's the representative of CVAGs.
That could be a problem.
Well, he's my tenant, so,
Well, then you get to go for him, Stan.
okay.
Well, has he tried logging out and logging back in? And
I asked him to do that, but it hasn't,
or by phone?
oh, he hasn't tried that yet.
Didn't try that. He logged in a few times. I saw him in the background room a few times, so
Well,
must
he's
be
there
his
now.
technology. Oh, well, he just gave thumbs up. Paul, can you hear us now?
I'm finally here. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
good.
Good.
Okay.
So
Please
this
forgive me.
So Paul, just so you understand, under our regulations, this was referred to us, it was a mandatory referral by the town because you have many locations. So in a sort of a generic sense, whether you're generic or not, we have a category called formula stores. So it's referred to us, and we have to either concur in the referral, which means there'll be a public hearing on the project before you can proceed with the town, or we can vote to not concur, send it back to the town, and you will just get whatever permits you need directly from the town. So why don't you tell us about your operation?
Yes, sir. First, let me apologize to the commission. This came about because I just opened a store in North Carolina, and as part of the process, I encountered the formula business protocol, which I was not aware of. Where because we have more than 20 stores, I had to go before the planning board and the town council in order to get approvals. And this was new to me. I had not encountered this before. So first, my apologies that this is, we've gotten to this point without going through the appropriate channels first. CVAGs, we've got currently 47 stores. The basis of our stores were nothing like a national retailer. Each of our stores is individual and very unique. And one of the things that's essential to us is we actually make our products from recycled sailboat sails. So our preference is to target markets in local communities such as Oak Bluffs, Edgartown, Vineyard Haven, or Tisbury, because of the large sailing population where customers can actually bring their sailboat sails into our stores, trade them for product, and then we take, in turn, send those sails back to Portland, Maine, where they're turned into additional products. So the nature of our business is such where those sales would ordinarily end up in a landfill. However, we're taking them and making new products out of them. So being in a location like Martha's Vineyard, with all the sailing that takes place there, it turns into a lot of sales. So with that being said, that's why we typically target a small local community that has some sort of water element, ocean, lake, whatever it might be. So I'm a little bit backtracking here with 47 stores and now asking for permission. But that's in essence what I'm doing. Want to do the right thing and follow the appropriate channels to do what we can to open in Vineyard Haven.
And you have a store in Edgartown and a store in Oak Bluffs already, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
the applicant has brought some imagery if you folks would like to see it.
Sure, we might as well look at it.
Sure
And
thing.
basically what this represents, it's a sampling of all of our store, or a variety of our stores. And I thought this was important because each store is unique. We try to tie in an element of the water, and all of these products are made from recycled sailboat sails. So we're not a national chain cookie cutter in that they're all unique, one-of-a-kind products made from a recycled sail that may have slight imperfections from its life on the water or previous life on the water. So we feel like we do a lot of things differently. And if I can share with you, I appreciate the formula business protocol, because when we typically seek out a location, we tend to avoid malls and such where the national chains are, because it doesn't offer that charm. It doesn't offer the uniqueness, and it's not who we are. We're an authentic Seacoast brand that loves to be in communities where there's some sort of Seacoast element.
Makes sense.
Any commissioner questions?
No,
Fred, you have your hand up, and also Adam. Go ahead, Fred.
Go, Fred.
Yeah, I was just curious, are these franchise stores or are they company-owned stores?
They are company owned. We're an LLC based here in Portland, and we started in 1999, but the growth has really occurred in the past 5 years, where we found that the more stores we open, the more sales we can acquire, and the supply chain feeds the growth, if you will.
Good,
Thank
thank you. Adam and then Brian.
I was going to ask exactly the same question Fred just asked, but I will point out that even though the stores that Mr. Gorey showed were not here, the store in Oak Bluffs is very similar to the stores that he just showed, sort of like almost an old ship. So I just wanted to point that out. But I was going to ask the same about the company-owned stores that Fred did.
So the Oak Bluff store is on Circuit Avenue. Where is the Edgartown store?
That's on Winter Street in Edgartown, 13 Winter Street.
Okay.
And if I might also add, not only are the sales recycled and reclaimed, but we use a lot of repurposed materials as well, old barn board, things of that nature. So just very environmentally conscious, sustainably focused. And it's one of the core tenets of the brand is to repurpose, recycle, reuse, and to really have as little impact as we can, whether it be in a community or whatever it might be.
Brian?
Yeah, if all the questions are done for Paul, I was just curious, Rich, are you gonna put up what our policy is so we can review it?
Well, we have 2 more people with their yellow hands, 3 more with their yellow hands up, and then we will get to that. Good point though, Brian. Go ahead, Joan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna make a motion. I'll wait.
Linda?
I just wanted to know, other than the fact that your product is unusual, is there anything about the business that sticks out from the other retail businesses around it that? Or
Well, I think that's a great question. The product being unusual, and our whole focus is sustainability and repurposing. And that comes down to our packaging and shipping supplies. We don't use anything that's additive. Everything is recycled, repurposed. So I think that's a great emphasis to make. But in terms of uniqueness, we're very much a small operation. We continue to be very local in that every market that we're in, we're typically involved with some sort of fundraising or activities to support the local community. We don't, unfortunately, I wish we were larger in nature. We don't offer a lot of jobs in the sense of each of the markets we're in. We typically have upwards of about 4 people. So not huge stores. So I wish I could offer more in the sense of that. But really the focus being recycling, repurpose, and sustainable.
but if I were walking down the street looking at your store and the next store and the next store, would you stick out in any way?
I think we would, in the sense of what you see in the windows from a lot of reclaimed buoys, reclaimed lobster traps, reclaimed materials, and then our product in general. You won't see anybody else, or there's a few other companies out there that are recycling sales, but none to the extent and success that we've had. And I'm very proud of that. Where I've been in retail for about 38 years, and I've always worked for a manufacturer. So to work for a U.S. based manufacturer that prides itself on U.S. made products and showing that in the windows to invite people in.
Well, I haven't looked at your other stores, but I'm just saying it's not like you have a different color scheme where
Oh, no.
You would stick out the way McDonald's might.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. No, in that sense, we fit in very nicely in each of the communities that we're in. Our exterior signage is navy blue with the Seabags logo, Seabags Maine. And other than that, no, it's very low impact. I think it's very much a draw, especially here in New England, where we know so many people that are lobster men and women that are in that industry. And where our products are produced is right here on Custom House Wharf, where we have 20 lobster boats more to the back of our building. So a lot of charm in that sense, but it doesn't easily get conveyed in our stores other than our lobster traps, lobster crates, and things of that nature that you'll see in the windows.
You would probably get a much harder time from us if you use golden arches as the corporate logo.
I would agree with that, and I would embrace that. So thank you for being that way.
Carol. I know John
Lobster
wants
pots.
information, so I'll call him.
Rich, did you find the?
Oh, yeah,
Things-
no, ready when the chair is, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Carol. Well, can't hear you. No audio. Now you're muted.
I don't know, we can't hear her.
No, I'm telling her, yeah. Don't know what it is, Carol, but we're not hearing you.
Carol, check the volume of your microphone. It's on the bottom in the right-hand corner.
Maybe
She
Paul
might want
could-
to unplug, she might want to unplug the headphones.
Try now. No, all right.
Why don't you work on that? I'll call on Peter while you work on
All right,
that.
I'm gonna unplug the headphones.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, go ahead, Carol.
Okay, now if I can remember what I was going to ask. I was going to say, thank you for thinking ahead, you're forward thinking. Anything that will help us in our marine dependent society to reuse these products is vital. And especially on this island, because we ship everything off. And I think, yeah, you're very well needed. And my question is your stores, do you have any verbiage that talks about the fact that you're sustainable, recycling this on the outskirts? Or is it just, because you could walk down there and you could see, oh, another Vineyard store with bags. We had beautiful bags, and if I didn't know they were made out of the refurbished sales, or I would not know. So is there something that's helping you, that helps the sightseer to notice the difference?
Thank you. Thank you for your compliments and support. The only thing that we have outside, if you will, is that if it's approved by a town, is we put a sandwich board out that says sea bags, totes handmade from recycled sailboat sails. So anyone walking up to our store would see that sandwich board that announces that. And then once you're in the store, we do talk about that through a number of different signage factors that are hanging in the store.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peter.
You know, back in the 80s, I used to sneak into the North Loft in Annapolis and sew these bags myself out of old sails.
That's great.
So and if you had a Kevlar one, it was like really cool. And then using the straps that you would sail ties to make the straps for, a duffel bag. But is there a map, Rich, that you can show us where the actual physical location will be on the Stonebank site?
It's in, if I could interrupt, it's in the main building on Union Street.
So it'll open onto Union Street, not Main Street.
Correct. And as you walk up from the
Storefront
ferry,
Union Street.
as you walk up from the ferry, you can't miss it. The entrance is even angled to.
Okay, Rich, do you have that policy you can put up for us to see?
Yes, sir. This comes under 3.4H. It's a mandatory referral for concurrence. Any formula retail business, i.e. a business which maintains or which is required by contract as a franchise or by other arrangement to maintain two or more of the following standardized formula array of services and or merchandise. 1, menu or products. 2, trademark, logo, service mark, or symbol. 3, interior decor. 4, exterior architecture or facade. 5, signage. 6, layout. 7, uniform. 8, color scheme. 9, similar standardized features and which are utilized by 10 or more other businesses worldwide, regardless of ownership or location.
Okay, so it's more than 10 and the products are uniform in the sense of what they are, even if they are individually unique from store to store. And I'm sure they have a uniform logo because that's what stores do. So it is triggered as a mandatory referral. The next question is whether we are ready to determine whether or not to make a recommendation to the full commission about whether we should concur or not concur. I have two hands that are up. Joan was going to make a motion. Does somebody have further comment on this, Linda or Brian?
I don't know how we can't, as much as I hate to put this upon anybody in the world, I do think we have to have a full commission review this per our policy, even though we all know what the outcome will most likely be. But to be fair to all parties coming before us, we do need to follow our policy and recommend that this goes in front of the full commission.
That's precisely what my motion would do. That's the authority that we have as the LUPC.
And this is a recommendation, Paul. And frankly, it sounds like it'd be free publicity for you, but that's a different issue. Linda and then Fred.
Well, I was going to say, of course, it has to go before the commission. We're here tonight to make a recommendation about whether or not we concur with this referral or not. Personally, I think our recommendation should be not to concur, because I do not see how this usage is going to have any regional impact.
So why don't you let me make a motion and you can.
Okay, Joan, you want to make the motion? I'd be happy to second it.
Fred, can I go ahead and make a motion?
I wanted to remind everybody about concurrence reviews. The primary reason it's there in a concurrence review is to cast a broad net, and the commission has the ability then to do this concurrence review and decide whether in fact to take it as a DRI, a full DRI hearing.
Right.
This is our winnowing process. And I think, frankly, obviously the reason it's in here as a DRI trigger is to basically protect ourselves from a formula retail chain store kind of situation. And if we didn't have it here, we would be, I think, negligent. So it
But
will
we
go to
don't
the
have-
full.
Yeah,
Right.
but we don't have to recommend that it be given a full review. We can recommend that it doesn't, I think Joan was going to do this, require a
All
public
in
hearing.
strong agreement. If I may, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend to the full commission that we do not concur, because I don't think that this, and I just want to back up for a moment. If we consider the principal reasons for the formula retail checklist items, it's because we're worried about things like trash, noise, waste, transportation, and character, amongst other things. In this particular case, this is not going to generate any more, and probably less, than most retail stores. I doubt there's going to be any noise impact, or at least nothing that is greater than their next door neighbor stores. For waste, they're likely to be to improve the waste situation, at least insofar as they're recycling. It is a retail business. That strip is full of retail businesses which sell that sort of Main Street and that kind of area, and the island are full of retail stores that sell product that is, they like to think is distinctive to their own, but in a generic sense is very generic. You're not introducing something that is going to be particularly scary to the island in terms of damaging the character. The storefront will be a storefront. Yes, they'll have things in the storefront, but everybody else does too. And the only thing I can think of that might be said to have a detrimental and regional impact is the small number of employees. But I don't think that rises to the 4 employees, the incremental employee impact. But I don't think that rises to the level of having to refer this to recommending that the full commission hold hearings on this. So my motion is that we recommend to the full commission that we do not concur, because the impacts are not those if there are any, not those intended to be captured by the formula retail exception.
Second that. Second that.
Trip, did you want to say something also? Because you've had your hand up.
I've got wanted to say something because when I first opened up in Oak Bluffs, I went wandering in and geez, they don't throw anything away in that place. The counters, everything, shelves, it's all made out of used lumber. And I just smiled because I said, this is something that I should have done. And it doesn't get any more vineyardy than what you take a walk in there. And I guess he's making some dough at it because he wants to open another one. And God bless him. More power to him. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
That must have rung a bell, since I happen to know that Trip doesn't throw anything away. So-
That's right. Nothing.
Well,
Okay,
Trip, you might have some sales for us, Trip. We'll stop by.
Sales may be the only thing Trip doesn't have. It's hard to say. Linda, go ahead.
Well, in support of Joan's motion, I would like to point out that in many ways, this type of store, the store that he's proposing, actually contributes to the character of the island in a positive way. And as for the number of employees, I don't think 4 is a skimpy number of employees for a store of that size. I ran a substantially larger retail operation with 3 employees because that was the number that was needed to serve the needs of the public. So you can't wish extra employees on people. And I think this, as I said before, contributes to the character.
Okay, I just have one question, Paul. I didn't notice whether or not your stores stay open year round or are they seasonal? Just curious.
And some of our stores are year round. Those on Martha's Vineyard, we operate through Christmas, and then we shut down January, February, March, and we've just started opening them up again on actually April 7th.
I was just curious. You have a lot of company on this island.
Yeah, it's challenging. We would love to be open year round. But as many of you business owners are involved with your business, you know it's not easy to do that if you're not generating any revenue. And then if I may add on employees, an ideal situation, we would have up to 4 employees. On the Vineyard, we are challenged to have 1, at times 2. Staffing has been critically challenged for the past, it's actually gotten worse since the pandemic. It's like, where did everyone go? So ideal world. I wish we could have 4. Right now, I wish I would have at least 1, maybe 2. But we're covering from other parts of the Cape as well.
I would also comment, you might have better year-round business in Vineyard Haven than, especially in that location where you can't get off the ferry without going by it.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Okay, well, it's been moved and seconded. The only thought that I have to add, and I think Linda touched on it, is that I think that the character issue is important when you're talking about formula stores and the impact on the island. And I think Linda's pointed out that this is not the Golden Arches. It's not going to have a negative impact on the character and of the island, and it may well have a positive impact. So I think that's really an important aspect with regard to this trigger. That said, it comes to a vote. All in favor of recommending to the full commission that we not concur in this referral, kindly raise your hand where I can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you only one time, Trip, only one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it is unanimous. We will make that recommendation. And there you go. And you get to do the whole thing again when the full commission reviews the concurrence. When is that going to be? Is it going to be this Thursday or are we putting it off?
No, it's not. It's going to be, our next meeting is the first meeting in May.
Okay.
So I'll have it on the agenda for that. Thank you, Paul.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Paul.
Have a good
See you
evening.
soon.
We have completed our work. It's 6:11.
Yeah, and I just want to say that
Congratulations to all of you.
for the 8 commissioners that are here, there will be no meeting this Thursday night. Adam is going to send a message out to all the commissioners, so that was, it's a breath of fresh air. Well, we'll deal with the very minor matters that we have in front of us in the first meeting in May. So.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Good night.